Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, welcome to That's English.
Hello. Today our topic is education. You know, the most extraordinary thing about British education is that there are so many different types of school.
Yes, it's true. Listen to these 6 people. We asked them this question. What type of school did you go to?
I went to a grammar school and then came here to study at Cambridge University.
My education started off in a primary school and it went to infants, juniors, secondary, and I planned on going to college.
I was at a private preparatory school, then a public school, which of course are not public, and then when I came out of the army at the end of the war, I was at Cambridge.
I went to a comprehensive school. I'm now at university and I'm studying management studies and economics.
I had a convent education, leaving, I suppose, 14, 15-year-old.
When I was very young, I went to a kindergarten in Africa. In Britain, I went to primary school. Then I went to grammar school. And then I came to London to go to University College, which was the first university to accept women and people of any religion.
There were some types that you may not have heard of before. Preparatory school, or prep school, is a private school for children between the ages of 7 and 13.
A convent school is a school run by the church. Convent schools are usually Catholic.
Kindergarten and nursery schools are schools for children under the age of 5. We also asked people, did you enjoy your education?
But I think that my best memories come from when I was at school. I met a lot of good friends there, and I learnt a lot as well.
I went to the same school from age 8 to 18, which is quite unusual, I think. And then I went to university. I went to Oxford, actually. I really enjoyed it. I had a great time. I made lots of friends, and I played lots of sport, which I really like.
I went to boarding school, which is a private education, and which means that I lived at the school during the term time, and it was a long way from home, but I loved it. It was great fun.
Well, they all had a wonderful time, didn't they? I myself don't like the idea of boarding schools, internados. I think it's wrong to send children away from home.
Well, I went to a boarding school. It was a convent, actually. Single sex, no boys. Marvellous. The education was wonderful, and we didn't have to worry about boyfriends.
It doesn't sound much fun to me. But there are always arguments in Britain about the best type of education for children.
Yes. Recently, there's been a lot of controversy, polémica, about the national curriculum, el currículo oficial.
Y existe un organismo encargado de su elaboración, the National Curriculum Council.
Rebellious subjects, enemies to peace.
At the moment, Shakespeare is just about the only work of literature schools must teach by law. But the proposals drawn up by the National Curriculum Council mean schools will have a whole range of books, plays and poems defined for them. In secondary schools, younger children must choose from a range of plays such as Pygmalion, fiction predating 1900 like Treasure Island, and more modern works such as Golding's Lord of the Flies. Older children will get their teeth into plays like Arthur Miller's Death of a Salesman or fiction such as Pride and Prejudice.
One of the key objectives of the revised proposals is to ensure that our children do read widely that they read a wide range of literature, of poetry, of drama, that they're introduced progressively to more demanding texts, that they are introduced to texts of central importance to our literary heritage.
But it's the emphasis on standard English, such as speaking correctly, which is causing most controversy.
Now, standard English is the correct use of vocabulary and grammar. We're talking about things that, for example, he ain't right, we was robbed, are not correct English.
No, he ain't right is not correct English. It's a very colloquial expression for he isn't right.
But if you've been to Britain, or if you've met British people in other countries, you've probably heard expressions like that.
It's best not to say ain't, but you have to understand it because lots of British people use the word.
So, that's one controversy. How important is it to teach children correct English? There have always been controversies in education. In the 1890s, there was an important Education Act, Ley de Educación. Many people disagreed with it.
Let's go over to the newsroom now to hear all about it. Let's see which people disagreed with the Education Act and why.
Hello. Here is the news from That's English. The headlines. The school leaving age is raised to 12. And school teacher goes cycling on Sunday. But first, today's main story is that because of the new Education Act, children must now stay at school until they are 12. Our education correspondent has the story. Nick, is this new Education Act going to make a big difference?
Well, Trevor, some working-class parents here are very angry indeed about this new act. They have children, aged 11, who are working in factories, earning money that the parents desperately need.
Nick, this means bigger class sizes, doesn't it? What effect is that going to have on children's education?
Well, Trevor, experts are now saying that the ideal size for a school class is between 60 and 70 pupils per teacher. So there's no problem in the immediate future.
Thank you, Nick. And finally, the story of the school teacher who went cycling on a Sunday. The local vicar saw Mary Talbot on her bicycle last Sunday. He said he could see one of her ankles quite clearly. The vicar told That's English News that he does not want this type of woman to educate children. As a result, he has told Miss Talbot not to return to her job as assistant mistress at St. Jude's Infant School. Quite right, too. That's all from the That's English News team. Good night.
So, which people were angry about the new Education Act?
Well, Trevor, some working-class parents here are very angry indeed about this new act.
Some working-class parents are very angry indeed, realmente muy enfadados.
And why are they angry?
They have children, aged 11, who are working in factories, earning money that the parents desperately need.
They have children of 11 who are working in factories. Trabajan en fábricas, earning money that the parents desperately need.
And what about the school teacher, Vanessa? The vicar, el vicario, saw her ankles, los tobillos, so she lost her job.
Well, I can see one of yours, so be careful.
Oh dear, I'm sorry.
You don't need to apologise. But apologising, pedir disculpas, is a very British thing to do.
How to be British. Apologising.
You're late.
Only 10 minutes.
Only 10 minutes?
That's nothing.
What do you mean?
I was 2 hours late for my last pupil.
Well, aren't you going to apologise?
Apologise?
Yes, apologise. I think you should say you're sorry.
All right. Sorry.
Sorry? What kind of apology is that?
All right, then. I'm really sorry for being late. Does that satisfy you?
All right.
Now, last week, I asked you to practice the E major scale. And I told you to keep your wrists straight and your fingers...
Yes. I'm sorry. I've been very busy this week.
So?
I haven't had much time to, practice.
Well, go on. Let's hear it.
Oh, dear. I'm frightfully sorry. It really does sound awful, doesn't it?
It's okay.
Oh, dear. I really am most dreadfully sorry. I'm wasting your time.
Stop apologising. And play.
And now I really am most terribly sorry, but it's time to stop.
Sorry, but there it is.
Our next programme is a revision programme. I hope you'll join us then. Bye. See you soon.
Tony, I can see your ankle again.
No, how embarrassing. I'm sorry. Goodness me.